Title 17 U.S. Code 512F provides penalties for the deliberate misrepresentation of copyright infringement. The owners and authors of this video, the Common Denominator, and the Paramystic Broadcast Channel are a nonprofit 501c3 exempt organization and believes in good faith that it constitutes educational fair use, as per Title 17 U.S.C. 107. Persons, agencies, attorneys, and or social media algorithms filing a false or frivolous Digital Millennium Copyright Act complaint may be subject to civil liability. Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Accordingly, viewer discretion is advised.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to put him.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another installment of What's Really Going On in America. And as you can see, I'm out in the great outdoors. It's a beautiful day, so I went for a little hike, and let me show you. Basically, yeah, so... And I just want to remind everyone, if you're tired of the color division going on in this country, as much as I am, and that you value human life, not based on color, but the content of the character, get yourselves a Human Lives Matter t-shirt and show off your show off that you value content of one's character over skin color. Because there are good blacks, bad browns, good browns, good browns, bad browns. There are good whites and bad whites. It's all about if we're human or not. There are people who are humans, and then there are those who behave as monsters, who behave as animals. And ultimately, I want to invite anyone to come on this podcast any given time. I'm not going to try. I will, and we can talk about anything you want. And I don't even have to agree on anything. In fact, we can do a whole show where we disagree the whole entire time, but leave with the respect for your exercise of free speech and your exercise to see the world as you see it. The only thing we both can't deny are facts. That's the truth. But anything that's based on opinion, meaning we don't do our research or research hard enough, that would be perfectly, that's fine. That would be based on opinion. And so keep that in mind. So last week I talked about unity, and within the last week I seen the most. I see the Daily Wire and Candace Owens, mainly Ben Shapiro, basically talking back and forth with each other on X. And I'm thinking to myself, how are these two creating the conservative movement in unity that we need? They're not. I mean, Candace Owens, however, is trying to bridge an unbiased bridge to talk to Ben Shapiro. But Ben Shapiro says, oh, we can only do it on the Daily Wire platform. Is it because they're in it for the money? Or is it for the power, or both? I don't know. Those who claim to be followers of God. Oh, hello, Holy Cowgirl Hauntings. Welcome to the show. Glad to see you here. And so the way I see it is Ben Shapiro just wants to, have an upper hand. Because if those two were both of them were followers of God, like they claim, they would actually, Ben Shapiro would follow Candace as Candace follows God in this case. And that is to have a third party involved that will be completely unbiased to the back and forth bickering. So yeah, it's and you got many more supporters. See ya, cowgirl. So I would like So what I would like to see more of, and what I don't know, it's just, I mean, I would like to hear opinions in the comments on this. Definitely. Um, because I would like to know more. I mean, I do these shows, and I would like to, see people's thoughts on the issue between, with everything I say. If you don't agree, we can talk about it. We can do it even here on this show live. But all I'm getting, but I don't get too many comments each of these weeks, and it's very important to have them. And I don't care if you totally 100% disagree with me. The whole thing is, we agree that everyone has the right to say what they want without anyone interference. And on top of that, a few months ago, I made a group page on Facebook, and you know how most of them are. They censor the heck out of you when you join them. You try, or they disapprove of your posts. I created one where you can post whatever you want, with the exception of no sexual content, and then make comments wherever you want. Basically, a constitutional group page, 100%. So what did we end up with? Conservatives reporting the leftist because they don't like it, what the leftists have to say. They would not do anything wrong. They were just expressing their feelings, expressing their opinions, and maybe some facts here and there if they can find any. But the point is, many have, I got some that actually left the group because they can't handle free speech. In fact, someone even called me a racist over the issue. I won't say who. The person deleted their comment. They haven't bothered me in months. And I won't post the screenshots because he's left me alone. So I'm going to leave him alone. He did the right thing. He left me and my business alone. And he did his own thing. And I do mine. But the point is, people say, oh, but free speech, free speech. But the people that are in the group page can't even handle not even 1,000 people, is in the group. Not slightly over 900. And people are showing they can't even handle free speech and that. How are we as a nation of millions gonna handle free speech when the speech being spoken to is something we don't like? How are we gonna handle that if we can't even handle a page? Less than 1,000. And that's what it comes down to. We we cannot be fighting for free speech and asking a moderator who's giving it to censor someone. And that goes for both, and that goes the leftists and the right wingers. I'm not just accusing one side. I'm accusing both sides. That, it's I'm starting to see the hypocritical thinking on both ends. People say they want unity, but both sides say color lives matter. People say free speech, but censor this person. This is highly ridiculous. Very ridiculous indeed. How can you fight for something if you show you don't believe in it in yourself? How can you fight for free speech and not and want censorship at the same time? You can't. How can you fight for constitutional rights such as freedom of press if you're going to kick out journalists or photographers or both? You can't. How are you going to fight for freedom of religion but censor out a religious belief? Now, I am a Christian. I go 100% into when the Bible commands something, I'm full into it. And whatever the dispositions are written in the New Testament, such as do not judge what someone eats or drinks, according to, I believe, not Corinthians, but Colossians 2:16. Those are dispositions from the Old Testament, strict laws of what we can and cannot eat or drink, or what day of the week to have a Sabbath. You do what you, but as an American, I'll fight for your right to believe it. To, let's say, not eat pork. Fine. That's probably healthy. That's healthy anyway. If you want to have your Sabbath on a Saturday, fine. But don't be judging people. I mean, it's your right to judge if you want. But and that's that's a whole other story for another day. I'll fight for your religious beliefs. Just, you know, express your beliefs even with your freedom of speech. But that doesn't mean I have to agree with it. And I will express what I believe in that is written in the Bible. Plain and simple. What else is there? Freedom of speech, freedom of press, freedom of religion. Oh, here's three of my favorites. Life, liberty, and property. Our government has violated the 14th Amendment on all three. And it's our responsibility to speak out. And I'll fight. And you know what? When people tell me that the government's not doing it, they're not being corrupted, the leftists, how they are. I'll fight for the right to say it. Even though we all know it's not true, what they say. All I'm saying is we're not united the way we should be. We're not practicing what we preach. We're not practicing what we fight for. I mean, and it shows. Today, Jeff Dornick said that we need to be more united. And I agree with him. And I'm thankful that he would even give me the time of day to go on a podcast with him on his show. I can't wait for that one. Can't wait for the day when we do that. You know, it's... But now hear me out. I respect every single person, especially those, you know, I do respect Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, and all the conservatives, because I too respect. Because I too want to be respected. But you know what? If I'm doing something wrong, I expect to be called out. If I say something wrong, if you don't believe in something I'm doing, let's go on a show and we'll talk about it. If we need a neutral party, we will have a neutral party, a third person. If I'm being a hypocrite on something, tell me how. The number one thing I want to do is make the conservative movement stronger. That's my goal. But it seems like to me there's also favoritism involved. A lot of favoritism. Now there are some great people though that have not shown favoritism. The common denominator, uh the pessimistic, great guys. They're the ones that even helped me create a podcast to begin with. I wouldn't even be as far as I am without them, thankfully. Then we got Mindy Robinson, who follows all my pages, and I give her intel, and it's nice to know that she's a great patriot. She wants to see everyone win. She'll advertise for your brand if she believes in it, if she believes in you, because she wants to see you win as a patriot than those who are going to support communism. And I'm thankful for that. And I too have that same heart. I want to see you, me, and all of us win. But we're not going to win with favoritism, being hypocritical, and supporting Democrats. We're not going to win supporting, the all-powerful government that wants to control our every move. And it's in my hope that we would give every company that's not for us the Bud Light treatment. It's time. We can no longer afford to give to those who are against us, against our movement. We must support one another and make us stronger, all of us. And let me tell you, if I had Donald Trump's money, if I had $1 billion, I would actually give up the luxurious lifestyle. I wouldn't even have that luxurious lifestyle to begin with. To me, too big. But if I had $1 billion today, I would be donating my money to every conservative I can find. I would give starting with $100,000 each, so I can find each and every one of them. But sadly, we're just here. We are. You know, I can. I don't like agreeing with the leftists. It tastes like vinegar coming out of my mouth on some issues. But I'm a very objective guy. And I'm not going to ignore what I see, what I hear, and what I experience myself. But me and the leftists, we will have a lot more not in common than in common, for sure. Definitely not going to agree with abortion. Definitely not going to agree with socialism, because it's never worked, because people are greedy. Once you give the government all your money, do we really trust them to give us what we need? No, the only person, the leftists must have not ever heard of the phrase, the only people we can count on is ourselves. Because the only people that's going to help take care of us is ourselves. Now, there are going to be people along the way that are going to be, there are some good people that may help us. But in my life, I can see my faith in God keeps me from being a leftist completely. Completely away from socialism, communism, all of it. Because I've experienced a lot of the same things that a lot of the leftists have. And considering that most of the great jobs are overseas because we have policies put in place that chase businesses away from our country from being manufactured in America. And I think and the government, of course, does destruction on purpose. You know, that tells me everything I need to know. And that's why fast food jobs were on the bottom of the list to get. And the jobs that people usually want are the jobs like a clothing store where you do easy work and stand around and do nothing. As opposed to a fast food job where you're cleaning and you're stocking and you're taking care of customers who are complaining because you're one person doing a job of 10 and they expect you to do it like the upper management expect you to do it. Yeah. So definitely agree. So yeah, in those aspects, I can agree with the leftists on why it's an undesirable job, why we have so many undesirable jobs, and why we want to stay away from them. Owning a business? Okay, well, what's really going on in America is a business. I've sold about 20 of my Human Lives Matter t-shirts, maybe 25 at most, out of 300. I would think the very people who are fighting against Color Division would be the first ones to buy them. But you know who bought them first? Liberals. That's right, liberals were the first purchasers of Human Lives Matter. Not because they ran away from Black Lives Matter, but they see what I'm trying to do. They see my heart, they understand what I'm doing, and believe it or not, and of course I have leftists that say, "Oh, wear that shirt in front of the black people." I live at downtown Allentown. You come tell the people of downtown Allentown that they are not human. If you're a leftist, I challenge you to do that to their face, and they would and see what happens to you. Never a bad never a bad experience walking downtown Allentown. But and you know my very first financial supporter was not even a shirt buyer, but a donation. And it was not even a conservative, it wasn't even a Christian. It was a liberal. Not a leftist, but a liberal. A very kind hearted liberal who can come see things halfway. And we may not agree on a lot of things, but there are some things me and that person can agree on. And I'm thankful for someone like her who, you know, got into my inbox and on my business page and said, "Hey, is there anything wrong?" And out of the blue, she asked me that. I don't know where it came from because I was doing just business as usual, and I said, "Well," and she even asked, I'm like, "Okay, I'm okay." And she's like, "Is there anything you need?" And I said, "Well, I could use some more sales." Go figure that one out. I'm not trying to say conservatives are the worst people in the world. They have a lot more facts than the leftists and the liberals. But the fact is, the leftists, the liberals, they see things, and I investigate. And just to keep an open mind, I investigate things. I observe human nature. I look around, see what they're up to. I listen to what they say. I try to, I go to some meetings to where I will, to see how I'm treated. A few people here and there will treat me really, really great. Others, they will ignore me to the end of time. And, eh, and then they'll act friendly by saying hi and stuff, but then I'm not that important to them. But we can do better because I have information thanks to some other patriots that need to be addressed. And if anyone's in the Lehigh Valley listening to this, I will see if I can host a video night because this is a 2-hour document. I think about an hour or two documentary. The guy says plagiarize it, do whatever with the video. He just wants it out there. Kind of like Mindy Robinson's documentaries. She's like, plagiarize it, do whatever you want. She just wants the truth out there. So, And that's me too. If I knew how to make documentaries, I would make one. For sure. I'm not as good as them. I can barely make podcasts on my own now. Thanks to a little help. But then here's a kicker. This week, Donald Trump said we should leave abortions up to the state. Now, I would like to hear your thoughts on that. Should it be left to the states? And I mean, to me, personally, as a man who believes in the words of God that is written that says the shedding of God hates those who shed innocent blood. What's more innocent than a child, especially inside the womb? That's like the death penalty for simply just existing. But here we are. All I know is we need to do better. Now it's like here it is. It's like being a Christ follower, but caving into Satan just to win votes. No, if we lose, I agree we must defend this country, but the best people isn't the government. It's we the people. And I like what Mindy posted this week. Get off your butts and go and basically defend our country. Stop sitting on the couch. I agree with her 100%. And here in Allentown, we're doing our part in holding our mayor accountable, our city council accountable, even to the point where Hendricks, not Jimi Hendrix, but at the time he was the president of the city council, he said the words, "I don't like your activism." Well, sorry, Mr. Hendricks, but that's what we the people have to do in order to preserve ourselves and to hold our government accountable. The Constitution states just that. If we have to go a different route, if we have got to go through different routes other than going into politics, to win back America, that's one thing. But we got too many people who say they're conservative caving into making exceptions to evil. I'm sorry, but you can do your worst to me. Do your absolute worst to me. All the way to torture, end my life, whatever you want to do. I will not cave in to evil. Because I'm not a sinner saved by grace. Because I'm a saint that was once a sinner that had a cutoff time, a time in my life where I go and sin no more. And I will not cave to evil. Satan makes the attempt to tempt me. But overall, I will not do it. So, and I was told I should be president, I should be governor, I should get into politics, gain some votes. I had people who said they would vote for me. I wonder how they would feel if I was a third party person, because if I was going to go into a political party, which I don't believe in, it would have to be the Constitution Party if the Constitution Party is what I think it is. Now, I'm hoping to have someone from the Constitution Party onto this show. It would be very interesting to know from their own words. I mean, yeah, I'll be looking up the website soon, but because I just discovered the Constitution Party like months ago and I was busy doing other things, so I haven't had much time to look yet. But overall, I'm hoping to have someone from the Constitution Party come on this show. And I'm hoping that the Constitution Party means every law made has to be aligned with protecting the Constitution and not just making a law just to make one up or just to benefit themselves. And even then, even a Constitution Party can still be corrupted. I mean, we ran with individualism in the beginning of our country. It was, and it became, then we ended up with Democrats, then eventually Republicans, and then we end up with third parties. So instead of fighting to end political parties, we just create a new one. And then we end up with Rhinos, Linos, Sinos, Genos, Kinos. You get the point. The political party in name only, depending on the letter of the political party. You know, like Lino, libertarian in name only. All I know is we need to end political gangs. And that's exactly what we are in today's American government. Political gangs. And we have, and you know what? I've been saying this for the longest time. We have a uni party. You know, Republicans that are all for the Democrats. And you know, I just listened to Marjorie Taylor Greene speak at her town hall in her Georgia last night, and you know, about Mike, and a part of her speech was about Mike Johnson, our speaker. I'm starting to think two things about having a speaker. First off, all government officials that are elected needs to be elected by the people and not by any part of government. You know, I learned last night that speakers are, you know, voted on by House, by who's in the House. I'm sorry to say, but that should be left up to we the people. Plain and simple. And then we should also be able to veto them out. We should be able, as a people, you know, we should have like a 28th Amendment that says we the people have the right to have a veto, you know, session where we can veto out or not veto, but impeach, let's say, Biden, Kamala. Basically, if it was up to me, I take them all out. Nearly every single politician out. They're corrupted in some way. If I was the speaker, you could not even threaten me to do anything for that goes against the people. You could not. Because my Christian value says stand firm on the word of God. And if someone threatens to throw my past out there, I'd be like, go on ahead. Go ahead. I don't give a crap. In fact, if you want me to, I'll go on every news station in the nation, local and national, and advertise it for you. And so, and if you threaten any part of my family or friends, well, I don't have a family, but if I had a family and, I would, make sure that they're okay with everything that will go on, including threats to their own lives because of me. And if they say go for it because I don't want to lose my freedoms, I'd rather die, then I'm 100% on board anyway. And I'll just say, go ahead. You're the one committing murder. And heck, I would make sure that their threat goes all online too. You can There's always a way to win against the enemy. That we have, especially in 2024, there's nothing we can't use. So I disagree with Marjorie Taylor Greene when I said, oh, he's a good guy, he's a Christian, blah, blah, blah. No, absolutely not. Speak Mike Johnson, but I do agree that he needs to go as speaker because he's not representing us any more than any other politician. Oh, hi guys. Ah, so so who would I vote for if I could vote for anyone? First off, all the career politicians I would definitely not vote for. That sums it down to like 99.5% of the government there. Because most of them did nothing and they made compromises to benefit themselves. So I would vote for new people to get into politics. We actually had, our country was founded by inexperienced men who ran this country. Most of them were not even in politics. Most of them were not even military people. They were just ordinary men, ordinary citizens with guns, cannons, and everything else that overtook a government, from staying tyrannical over this beautiful land. And people and the leftists would say, well, it's stolen land. Okay, fine. But that was by politics, by foreign politics that wanted to keep slavery. But then you'll ask, Then the leftists will say, well, our founding fathers had slaves. Some of them did, but majority did not. They actually fought over the matter because they didn't believe in it. And it took almost 100 years to free them. So yeah, it's definitely. So yeah, we definitely gotta. So yeah, what can we do today? We need to get more involved than, and we gotta and we gotta support each other. We gotta stop being hypocritical. We gotta start uniting. We gotta, stop being self benefiting us and start benefiting each other. You know, if we're gonna make changes in this country, it needs to start with our movement. And of course we gotta kick out the weeds. We got weeds. It's like we have a garden, and every garden has weeds. What do we do with the weeds? We pull them out. You know, I loved it when Black Lives Matter started. Then the right wing said Blue Lives Matter over an incident in 2020, I believe it was, with George Floyd. Now, let's go. Now, I have seen good cops and I've seen some very wicked cops. I've seen cops as humble can be, saying, I didn't even know that was a law. I'm going to have to look that up. What's the website that I can look it up? I literally heard a cop say that, and they wanted to know for themselves. And I'd rather have a cop like that than an arrogant cop that thinks they know the law, but doesn't, and then makes a false arrest because of their ignorance about what law is written. It's almost like they make up laws and then enforce those laws rather than enforce what's written. Many of them as well. So when I hear the words "back to blue," "Blue Lives Matter," and all this other stuff, I'm with you, but not 100%. The leftists also have it right. The leftists say all cops are bad. And it's like the right wing says they're all good. I'm looking at each and every individual person objectively. There are either bad departments or bad individuals, you know? So I don't want to hear so yeah, we you know, and then we heard all lives matter as well. So, yes. So we only got a few minutes left. So if you want to subscribe to my channels, well, follow me on Facebook. I got 20,200 followers on there on what's really going on in America. You can also follow me on YouTube and Wumble, and I always prefer Wumble over YouTube indefinitely. Um, So, but if you want to follow me on both, that would be great. And like I said, if you want to be on this show, I'm willing to have you. I don't care who you are. You could be the president of the United States of Ukraine, or you could be the president of the United States of America, or you could be some Joe Schmo sitting on the couch. But I'm willing to have you on this show. I don't care if you're as big as Charlie Cook, or if you're as little as someone who has 5 followers on their Facebook page. I welcome you, and if you're starting out with 5 followers on your Facebook page, as a patriot page, tag my page, and my page will follow yours, because being united is going to help us win. Divided, we fall. And I don't want the conservative movement to fall. Let's get better, people. Let's get better. So until next time, I will see you later and out.